I'm Peter Dubois. In a developing story here tonight, multiple agencies converged in unity earlier this afternoon after reports of shots fired. That incident resulted in the arrest of one person and the seizure of evidence by law enforcement. According to the Waldo County Sheriff's Office, just after 1 p.m., the county's communications center received a report of a Maine Forest Service ranger requesting assistance at 118 J.C. Place in Unity. The ranger had initially responded there to investigate illegally cut trees when they were confronted by at least 2 gunshots. The sheriff's office says one of those gunshots was fired in the ranger's direction. The incident prompted multiple Maine State Police units, the Waldo County Sheriff's Office, Maine Forest Service, and other agencies to respond. 38-year-old Sherrod D. Parker of Unity was arrested for reckless conduct with a dangerous weapon and was later taken to the Waldo County Jail to be booked. A search warrant of the residence was executed when additional evidence was then seized by members of the Sheriff's Office and the Maine Forest Service. The incident remains under investigation with the Waldo County Sheriff. Nobody involved was hurt in that incident. A scary scene in South Paris after police pinned down a person on the side of the road before heavy gunfire when the suspect appeared to take off in a police cruiser. Owen Kingsley has more of this shocking video and reaction from the person who recorded it.
We spoke with a woman who just happened to be passing through as the scene was unfolding Monday afternoon. She was approaching as police begun to approach their suspect on the side of Route 117. Now, at first, she could hear only really shouting among some of the police officers, but that was until it appeared the suspect got behind the wheel of a police cruiser and took off. Then followed a barrage of gunfire.
It just gives you complete goosebumps all over. I mean, I'm familiar with guns and stuff, but to hear that many.
Oxford County sheriffs say an officer-involved shooting broke out on Route 117 in South Paris around noon Monday. The suspect was injured and is in custody at a nearby medical facility.
Yeah, life flight to Stevens, got a male patient, multiple gunshot wounds.
Officials say no officers were hurt. Linda Mercer began recording on her phone while ducking down to stay safe.
I just can't believe the police officers, what they do, and I'm so grateful they didn't get hurt.
In the video, you can hear police officers shouting, "Put your hands up, do it now." Then you hear Linda say,
"Oh my God, he's getting in the police vehicle."
And then seconds later, heavy gunfire. When you look closer, you can see the police cruiser driving off.
When he got into the vehicle and there were police behind him and in front of him, and he started shooting, we were then in the line of fire, so all of us got down behind our vehicles. You watch it on TV, but this was real.
Police officials have not yet confirmed that a police cruiser was in fact stolen during Monday's incident.
That was Owen Kingsley reporting. Meanwhile, a family made a daunting discovery on Sunday while fishing along the Penobscot River in Greenbush. They found the body of a man and contacted authorities. According to the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office, they received a report of a deceased individual in the river off the main road at approximately 2:15 p.m. The Sheriff's Office, Maine Warden Service, and Maine State Police all responded to the area and recovered the body from the waterway. That body was taken to the office of the Chief Medical Examiner in Augusta. They say no more information will be provided until the office has made an identification. A Bangor man has been sentenced to 3 years behind bars for being a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition. 31-year-old Toman Caudill pleaded guilty in January. According to court records, Bangor police officers responded to a report that a man had fired a handgun in a residential area in September of last year. A bystander directed officers to Caudill. When he was taken into custody, officers found a box of ammunition in his backpack. Court records indicate that a further investigation revealed Caudill had discharged a 9mm pistol and then handed it to his fiancée as officers approached. Caudill stated later that he fired the gun because of an altercation with another man. He is prohibited from possessing a firearm or ammunition due to multiple prior felony convictions. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows is warning Maine corporations and nonprofits to be on the lookout for a misleading solicitation they may have received in the mail. It offers to file beneficial ownership information reports on the behalf of that business or organization for a fee of $175 or more. A statement from Bellows says the beneficial ownership information reports are a new federal reporting requirement. They're used to combat money laundering and terrorist financing. However, there's no fee to submit it. Bello says, quote, "It's a sadly common tactic of scammers to create official-looking forms and urge immediate action. Also, they can make a quick buck." Bello says you can call the state's corporations division to see if something is legitimate. That number is 624-7736. May 5th through the 11th marks National Hurricane Preparedness Week. It's a time for people across the country to prepare for the impacts of hurricanes in their communities ahead of the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, just because we live in Maine doesn't mean we're not in the clear. Doesn't mean we're in the clear, rather. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has that story.
To kick off the National Hurricane Preparedness Week, the hurricane hunters made a stop at the Portland Jetport.
When there is any sort of impacts coming to your area, we're working really hard as a team to get all of that information to you as soon as possible.
The whole point of us being here is to remind people that hurricane season is coming. It starts in less than a month.
Scientists from NOAA, or the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, say just because we're in Maine and haven't seen a direct hit of a hurricane since Bob in 1991 doesn't mean you shouldn't be prepared.
And that's all the more reason to be aware of it, because if you don't experience something for years, you may not actually know or understand what a hurricane could do if it was to make a direct impact on the state of Maine.
To help spread that message, NOAA enlisted the help of the hurricane hunters, which consist of two elements, one from the U.S. Air Force Reserve, as well as pilots and aircraft from NOAA's Commissioned Officer Corps.
So sometimes when you're going through a storm, it ends up being pretty smooth because the storm's got its act together and there's not a whole lot of turbulence pop-ups, but then sometimes it gets really dynamic and it can be pretty violent. But overall, every storm is different, so it's hard to tell until we kind of get in there and get a good look.
Michael Brennan, the director of the National Hurricane Center, says without the hurricane hunters, they wouldn't be able to predict and forecast how strong the hurricanes are and where they're headed.
Well, they really collect some of the most valuable direct data we can get in the heart of a hurricane because they can fly right through the storm. They can give us direct measurements of how strong the storm is, what are the peak winds, how deep is the central pressure, how big are the tropical storm and hurricane force winds, where exactly is the center located, and that data really serves as the foundation for our entire forecast process.
Brennan also acknowledges when it comes to getting the message about impending storms and impacts, their greatest resource is your local television news station.
Yeah, it's a really important role, especially at the local level, because local meteorologists are folks that people in their community watch every day, and they're trusted sources of weather information, and then they can translate the information about those hazards, the rainfall, flooding, the storm surge, the winds, to what's going to happen and what sort of steps people need to take to prepare at that community level.
For more information on how you can be prepared this hurricane season, you can visit our website at the Portland Jetport. I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Governor Mills has signed an executive order in an effort to attract more women to the construction field. According to the governor, currently only 11% of all construction jobs are filled by women. Her executive order directs state agencies, including the Department of Transportation and Department of Labor, to collect data on the number of women in construction jobs across the state, what barriers and accommodations exist for them, and how organizations plan to recruit and retain more women.
There are qualified women across Maine who belong in fields dominated by men, and I want to knock down the barriers that are keeping them from pursuing these good-paying jobs in construction with good Maine employers.
The Department of Labor will be responsible for submitting regular updates on the progress of the executive order beginning in 60 days. D-Day veteran Charles Shea is about to take part in the 80th celebration of the landings in Normandy that led to the liberation of France and Europe from Nazi occupation. Then a 19-year-old U.S. Army medic, the Penobscot tribe citizen from Maine, says he was ready to give his life. He also sought to save as many as he could. Shea was awarded the Silver Star for repeatedly plunging into the sea and carrying critically wounded soldiers to safety, saving them from drowning. He also received France's highest award, the Legion of Honor, in 2007. Now, at 99, he's spreading a message of peace with tireless dedication. He says he did his job and, quote, did not have time to worry about his situation and potentially losing his own life. Nearly 160,000 troops from Britain, the U.S., Canada, and other nations landed on June 6, 1944 on the Normandy shores. And as we look back on that historic day, we thank Shay and everyone for their service. And as we look outdoors today, a really nice start to our week, and it sounds like things will take a turn later in the week, though. Let's turn things over and get a first check of our forecast now.
Thank you so much, Peter. Our first weather tonight is brought to you by Acres Away Real Estate. Located at 309 West Broadway in Lincoln. Call Alan, Bobby Lynn, or Kara to help guide you through the buying and selling process. 794-2700. And finally, that rain cleared up. Just a few passing clouds here and there. We did see a good amount of clouds throughout the day today. But in general, though, most of that precipitation long gone. Finally, right? Tomorrow's going to be a good-looking day. The winds are still pretty light. It's around 5-10 miles per hour all over the state. A few spots here and there do have wind gusts around 15, but still not bad at all. Still some warmer temperatures making their way all the way up into northern parts of the country, southern parts of Canada as well. 60s, 70s, and of course above average temperatures. For us, though, we're going to continue to stay mild overnight. Temperatures back in those mid to upper 40s. Peter?
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you. We'll check in with you in a bit. But in the meantime, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, the Thomas Hill Standpipe in Bangor will be canceling all 2024 tour dates. We'll tell you why. And Bangor International Airport will be undergoing renovations. We'll explain with those stories and more when we come right back.
Transform your surroundings with Paramount Paving, located in Bangor. They are your paving and seal coating experts. Whether it's residential maintenance to full commercial projects, Paramount Paving delivers quality that lasts. Book before June 1st and enjoy a $250 Visa gift card upon completion of your next paving project. Call us today at 602-8931 or visit us at ParamountPavingLLC.com. Paramount Paving, setting the standard for excellence. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
When Electrify Maine wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Electrify Maine provides outstanding electrical services to eastern and central Maine. They are a licensed Generac dealer specializing in generator and heat pump installs. Call today for a free estimate.
Refine, your local expert in window and door installation, carpentry repairs, and commercial facilities management. At Refine, we're proud to offer Maine-made Paradigm windows crafted with care and precision to ensure quality and durability like no other. From quaint cottages to bustling businesses, let us refine your space with our signature Maine-made touch. Trust Refine to exceed your expectations every time. Contact us today and let Maine craftsmanship elevate your home or business. Rise with Refine.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
Higher shipping rates may be the cost of doing business, but at what cost?
Turn shipping to your advantage with low-cost ground shipping from the United States Postal Service.
I'm just the cleaning lady. She's clearly much more than that.
The Cleaning Lady, all new Tuesdays on Fox.
Hello, everyone. Coming up on the next edition of Good Morning Maine, we'll be talking hurricane safety as part of an effort to educate the public. It's also Screen-Free Week around the nation, encouraging people to step away from their phones and computers to live a while in the real world. We'll have all the details on the next Good Morning Maine.
Welcome back. Every year, the Thomas Hill Standpipe in Bangor opens to the public for a number of tours, but this year, all those tour dates have been canceled. The Bangor Water District, which operates the standpipe, recently announced that due to upkeep and planned repairs needed to the structure, that all 2024 tour dates have been canceled. The Thomas Hill Standpipe was built back in 1897 to provide water storage for firefighting and to help regulate pressure in downtown Bangor. In years past, the standpipe has been open to the public. Those wishing to ascend the 100 steps to the deck have been able to take in that panoramic view of the city in the spring, summer, and fall. But visitors will now have to wait until 2025 to do so, since public tours at the standpipe are again canceled for 2024. Runway construction is currently underway at the Bangor International Airport. BIA's runway rehabilitation project began just this morning. As part of the construction, crews are repaving the runway. That means it will be closed from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Wednesday for the next 3 weeks. Those repairs will shorten the length of the runway, but BIA officials say that change will not impact the traveling public. Officials say the last time a full runway paving took place at the airport was in 2002. Due to our rainy winter and early spring, ticks are just bad right now. Maine Health says during this Lyme Disease Awareness Month, it's researching tick-borne diseases like Lyme disease and the connection to climate change. The research includes figuring out where ticks carrying Powassan virus are getting their food from. Scientists are also looking into how infected ticks relate to Maine's weather patterns. They say with so much bare ground this past winter, especially in southern Maine, ticks showed up earlier than usual.
I think it's really concerning because, there was a time when you could kind of not worry about them. I mean, yeah, granted it was cold and it was snowy, but you could go out into the woods and not think that you had to really do tick checks.
Whenever you get open ground showing, bare ground, you could come into contact with a tick. So at least in the southern tier of the state where there's not as much snow, that's one way that we might be seeing a change.
Scientists say ticks like wet weather and they tend to live in invasive shrubbery, something to keep in mind there. Well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, we'll be taking a look at recent updates in the Boeing safety investigation. We'll also have reaction from Capitol Hill following the latest updates on the Israel-Hamas ceasefire proposal. Those stories and more as the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22 continues.
I told myself I was okay with my moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis symptoms, with my psoriatic arthritis symptoms. But just okay isn't okay, and I was done settling.
If you still have symptoms after a TNF blocker like Humira or Enbrel, Rinvoq is different and may help. Rinvoq is a once-daily pill that can rapidly relieve joint pain, stiffness, and swelling in RA and PSA, relieve fatigue for some, and stop joint damage. And in PSA, can leave skin clear or almost clear.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers including lymphoma and skin, heart attack, stroke, and GI tears occur. People 50 and older with a heart disease risk factor have an increased risk of death. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Done settling?
Ask your rheumatologist for Rinvoq.
And take back what's yours.
AbbVie could help you save.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust-proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
Tired of your internet service constantly letting you down? Those other providers may promise the world with their flashy advertisements, but are you truly having a good customer experience? Fear not, because there's a new player in town. Introducing GoNet Speed. No more endless hold times or automated responses. We're here to listen, support, and provide you with the exceptional service you deserve. Our fast, reliable fiber internet, it's mind-blowing. Let us show you what true internet satisfaction feels like.
Jumpstart the 2024 ATV season at the Maine ATV UTV Expo, May 17th through the 19th at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. No other event features a gathering of so many trail riding enthusiasts, product manufacturers, dealers, and industry service providers. While there, check out Huff Power Sports, stop by our booth, and see what is new for Can-Am ATVs, UTVs, and Spiders. And Shin Pond Village, Northern Maine's premier outdoor recreational resort with hundreds of miles of ATV trails right from your doorstep.
If you've been injured, call Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein.
The FAA opened a new investigation into Boeing and whether it properly inspected planes in its Dreamliner fleet. This comes after several mid-air safety incidents involving Boeing planes. Fox's Connor Hansen has details from New York.
Aviation giant Boeing has been dealing with a growing list of high-profile mishaps.
Video taken after a door plug flew off a Boeing 737 MAX 9 is still on the minds of many flyers. Now the FAA says it's investigating Boeing after the company informed the agency it may not have completed certain inspections in areas where wings join the fuselage on some 787 Dreamliner planes. The FAA is investigating whether Boeing employees may have falsified records.
Effectively, they are putting out defective airplanes.
Last month, Boeing whistleblowers testified about the Dreamliner planes in a Senate hearing.
Boeing is at a moment of reckoning.
And adding to the recent intrigue, 2 other whistleblowers have now died within weeks of each other. News of the FAA investigation comes just a couple of weeks after people who lost loved ones in a Boeing MAX 8 crash 5 years ago visited Washington.
It is inconceivable to me that 4 months since the Alaska Air door blowout, there's even a question of whether things have changed.
Boeing says it's working to rebuild trust. The FAA says Boeing is re-inspecting all the 787 planes in its production system and must create a plan to inspect its in-service fleet. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
The ceasefire proposal between Israel and Hamas is sparking reaction from members of Congress and the White House. Fox's Jackie Heinrich with that story.
It's unclear if the ceasefire proposal Hamas claimed it agreed to Monday is aligned with what the U.S. and Israel put on the table.
We want to get these hostages out. We want to get a ceasefire in place for 6 weeks. We want to increase humanitarian assistance.
In recent days, Hamas reportedly made clear, according to Egyptian officials, its demand to fully end the war with complete Israeli withdrawal in return for the release of all hostages. After Israel announced it began targeted operations in Rafah, the U.S. making clear it stands by its allies' key goal, despite opposing a large-scale operation that would endanger Palestinian civilians.
Is the U.S. still aligned with Israel in its intention to eliminate the terrorist threat posed by Hamas?
Of course. I've said many times here, you're not going to eliminate an ideology through military operations. But does Israel have a right and responsibility to eliminate the threat that they suffered on the 7th of October? 100%, absolutely they do.
U.S. officials would not say whether the latest volley by Hamas may be part of a public pressure campaign to make Israel look like the aggressor and get the U.S. to back off support for its ally.
Mr. President, what was your message to Netanyahu?
But following reports the administration withheld an arms shipment to Israel, congressional Republicans have their view.
It sounds suspiciously like an info operation trying to win a PR war because Hamas knows it can't win a military war against Israel. As long as Joe Biden, the Democratic Party, keeps putting pressure on Israel, it makes Hamas that much less likely to actually agree to release any of these hostages.
Jordan's King Abdullah, who met privately with President Biden at the White House today, released a statement saying an Israeli attack on Rafah threatens to lead to, quote, a new massacre. Notable caution coming from a key regional ally. At the White House, Jackie Heinrich, Fox News.
And in the wake of the Israel-Hamas war, we've seen protests at college campuses across the country. Fox's Molly Line has more from Cambridge, Massachusetts on protests there.
Officials from Columbia announced today that the school's university-wide commencement ceremony has been canceled after weeks of protests. As Harvard's interim president, with commencement just weeks away, calls for an end to a disruptive encampment entrenched on the institution's iconic yard, threatening disciplinary consequences, Alan Garber said the encampment favors the voices of a few over the rights of many, writing, "Those who participate in or perpetuate its continuation will be referred for involuntary leave from their schools." With finals underway, some Harvard students are fed up.
They're disruptive to people studying. They are anti-Semitic on a visceral level. They're calling for intifada. They're calling for the destruction of Israel in no uncertain terms. And quite frankly, it needs to go.
The protesters, calling themselves Harvard Out of Occupied Palestine, have not been clear about their next steps. At nearby MIT, the institute told students to leave the encampment there by 2:30 p.m. or face academic or full suspension. President Sally Kornbluth writing that the threat of outside interference and potential violence is real. At UCLA, more arrests today as students return to campus after last week's unrest. while law enforcement in tactical gear faced off with demonstrators at UC San Diego. And protesters remain in Washington, D.C. Mark Meredith reports.
The protest here at George Washington University remains ongoing. You can see the statue of George Washington remains covered up, but the university says enough is enough. They want these tents to come down. They think this has gone on for far too long, and the university is now asking for D.C. police to step in.
The tents have come down at Rutgers, among several institutions that cut a deal with protesters, meeting some of their demands. In Cambridge, Massachusetts, Molly Line, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Texas is still cleaning up after some parts of the state saw nearly 2 feet of rain in recent days. Local officials say some rivers could stay at flood stage for days. Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez has more.
After days of torrential rain, Texas finally getting a chance to dry out Monday, but parts of the state are still dealing with high floodwaters, forcing continued road and school closures. The National Weather Service says some communities northeast of Houston got nearly 2 feet of rain over the past week. Entire neighborhoods have been submerged underwater, leaving residents facing a long cleanup.
You could see it's just mud and soot, so this will all have to be power washed out.
In Harris County, where Houston's located, local officials urging those in heavily flooded areas to avoid returning home until conditions improve, warning the murky waters could be dangerous.
A couple yesterday tried to go see their homes despite our warnings, and at one point the gentleman had to really hold on to his partner because she was being pulled away by the current.
Since last week, storms have forced hundreds of rescues in the Lone Star State. These conditions turning deadly west of Dallas in Johnson County, where officials say a 4-year-old boy died after being swept away. So many across the state now trying to make sense of the loss of life and property.
It's very disheartening just to watch people lose everything time and time again.
Rivers across southeast Texas are expected to remain at flood stage for at least the next several days. In Nashville, I'm Nicole Valdez, Fox Weather.
Take a look at this footage illustrating the power of a recent tornado in Nebraska. This astonishing dash cam video shows what's there, then not there inside a minute when an April 26th tornado in Lincoln, Nebraska takes everything 100 yards in front of rows of cars and turns a building in front of them into swirling destruction. The building belonged to Garner Industries, which makes precision plastics. Dozens of workers were inside, but all survived the 158 miles per hour winds. The tornado was one of 19 that ripped through Nebraska, Oklahoma, and Iowa. Glad that everyone was okay there. Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, mosquito season is right around the corner. We're going to take a look at how we can be better prepared this season. And in sports, John Baptist boys tennis looking for yet another deep run in Class B North. We'll have those stories right after the break.
Buckle up, big boy.
It's Team Lisa versus Team Gordon.
She can Vanderpump off.
We're done.
Food Stars premieres Wednesday, May 22nd on Fox.
So, all of us are here to talk about trading. Right now at US Cellular, you can get a new phone without having to trade in your old one.
Trade you my PB&J for that phone.
No, kid, you don't have to trade. See? $830 off any phone at US Cellular. No trade-in needed.
You drive a hard bargain. Boom. Chocolate milk.
You don't have to trade. I'll take the chocolate milk.
Okay.
Get $830 off any phone. No trade-in needed with any unlimited data plan.
Jim Small Engine, Snow's Corner Road, Arlington, brings years of experience and a large parts inventory to make your engine as good as new. Lawnmowers, chainsaws, rototillers, wood splitters, generators, blowers, trimmers, and power washers will leave Jim Small Engines fully repaired, shiny clean, and ready to go. Jim Small Engines is an authorized dealer for these top brands and sells a wide array of used engines as well as new and used parts and accessories. Call Jim Small Engines at 825-3527. Check their website and like them on Facebook.
It was one thing when my mom got Alzheimer's, but then we started noticing things that seemed off. She developed agitation that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Sometimes she'd fidget with her fingers, get suddenly overwhelmed, and even throw things. And that was just never her. So we asked her doctor what else we could do.
Rexulti is the only FDA-approved medication proven to reduce agitation symptoms that may happen with dementia due to Alzheimer's disease. Rexulti can cause serious side effects. Elderly dementia patients have increased risk of death or stroke, report fever, stiff muscles, and confusion, which can be life-threatening, or uncontrolled muscle movements, which may be permanent. High blood sugar, which can lead to coma or death, weight gain, increased cholesterol, low white blood cells, unusual urges, dizziness on standing, falls, seizures, trouble swallowing, or sleepiness may occur.
Rexulti helped reduce my mom's symptoms.
Take action for your loved one. Ask their doctor about Rexulti.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
The future is now, with AI leading the way towards a new era of innovation. Fox's Kelly Saberi has more from the Automotive Conference in Chicago.
We are at Automate in Chicago, where we are seeing the latest and greatest in automation technology. And today we are looking at Doosan from South Korea to talk about Mixmaster Moody. I have CEO William Rue with me to talk about how this works. William, what did we just do? We took a picture, and now we're about to get a drink made entirely by robots, right? Or cobots, as you call them. Yeah. Tell me more about this.
Okay, this is the global, the number one, the robot barista, and the basic concept is, it has 3 different type of the new state-of-the-art technology. The one is AI. We collaborate with, the Microsoft ChatGPT, and AI just analyzed based on our picture, analyze our mood. Then it gives us the information, and it provides our customized the cocktail and recipe. And afterwards, our robot, this is a cobot, collaborative robot. It's very safe, and it's very similar to our human arms. It makes the cocktail, and the last part, if you see that the hand. That is a gripper, special gripper. It is, also some garnishing. So this is totally 3 different new technology put together and the combination. That is a really great thing.
Very fascinating. As you can see, it even garnished it. Thank you, William. Doosan also has other cobots and robot creations to satisfy your other cravings, including a cake decorating baker bot quad, as well as a barista for all of your caffeine. And of course, Mixmaster Moody back here will take just 3 minutes from start to finish to create your perfect custom cocktail. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
All right, so some very interesting technology going on there. And with May ushering in Mental Health Awareness Month, some psychology experts say it's important that the places we spend 40 or more hours at each week aren't having negative effects on our wellness. Fox's Chris DeMeo takes a closer look at what companies can do to promote better workplace mental health.
No matter what you do for work or how good you are at your job, it's normal for everyone to get overwhelmed from time to time while on the clock.
Everyone has their breaking point.
But with May marking National Mental Health Awareness Month, psychologists say prioritizing your well-being at your workplace could improve your quality of life in and outside the office.
In terms of the factors that influence the mental health of employees, I think the biggest factor is stressors in their work environment. So especially stressors that employees have no control over.
While some people are prone to handling stress better than others,
there's the personality trait of hardiness. And people who are high in hardiness, they feel like they have control over their environment.
Thomas Britt of Clemson University says managers can take active roles in helping their employees develop strategies to keep them from buckling under the pressure.
You can teach individuals and employees to try to take more control over their environment where they're able to. You can help them see the meaning in what they're doing. And you can train them to get experience handling multiple tasks at once.
When it comes to younger employees in Gen Z, psychology experts say it's important for many to feel like what they're doing at work is making a difference. Britt thinks companies that help their workers feel seen and heard can positively influence workplace mental health, and this can help businesses in the long run.
The organizations that show this high level of supportive climate are going to be the ones that attract the highest quality recruits.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
A new survey shows that Americans are experiencing higher rates of anxiety overall this year. Conducted by the American Psychiatric Association, a survey of 2,000 adults found 43% of respondents reported feeling more anxious this year compared to last. Anxiety levels amongst Americans have been slowly rising since 2022, with just 32% of adults reporting feelings of anxiety. Survey respondents reported feeling anxious and worried about current events, specifically topics like the economy, gun violence, and the upcoming election. Officials at Sarasota County in Florida are preparing for peak mosquito season. That's why experts are sharing some tips on what you can do to help yourself and your family stay safe. Fox's Kimberly Cuizon has more.
Collecting, testing, and preparing for peak mosquito season has started at Sarasota County Mosquito Management.
These are things we face every single year, and we have to be prepared for, and we need the public to be prepared for.
When rain picks up, even a small passing shower can bring life to the mini bloodsuckers.
They can actually go from larva to adult in a matter of 5 to 7 days.
Mosquitoes lay upwards of 150 to 300 eggs at a time.
And it looks like a seed. It takes just a small amount of water for a mosquito to lay a whole bunch of eggs.
Mosquito management asked residents to do their part by removing containers that hold standing water, by wearing repellent and long and loose-fitting clothes,
and knowing what kind of plants hold mosquito larvae, like this bromeliad. Last season, 7 malaria cases were reported in Sarasota County.
We were able to work together to eliminate this problem and the threat, which was a very complicated problem when you're dealing with humans being the main reservoir.
Malaria cleared up in September, but chickens are already being used to monitor for local viruses, and new ways to spray, like drones, are being explored. Mosquito manager Wade Brennan says a lot of help in keeping mosquito populations down starts at home.
Last year, we treated over 580,000 acres. We also treated over 2,400 miles of ditches. With all those efforts, we still cannot reduce the risk of mosquito arboviruses and parasites to the public completely.
So some very interesting information there, and of course some that could be useful for us up here in Maine. All right, well, we talked about it earlier, but our full five-day forecast is coming right up. Stay with us.
And above average temperatures all over the U.S. Finally, that push of warmer air all the way into southern parts of Canada. I am tracking even warmer temperatures back in our neck of the woods. When? I'll have the timing coming up.
Comfy, cozy, relaxing. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find rockers, recliners, sofas, and easy chairs. Quality furniture, affordable prices. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
A new deck is a great, affordable way to improve your home or camp. Hammond Lumber Company can help you create the perfect deck for your outdoor space. Visit Hammond's product showroom and explore their extensive range of decking and railing options. Your Hammond sales rep will be happy to help you with your materials and design choices, and Hammond delivers from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Make this the year you enjoy that new deck you've always wanted. It starts when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Hood is the cottage cheese lovers love. Start with our award-winning country style. It's delicious on its own, or like this. That. Even, sure. Plus, it's got more protein than hummus and less sugar than yogurt. Then there's Hood's flavors. We expertly blend in real fruit or savory herbs for an unbeatable taste combination you can't recreate at home. Now that's cottage cheese. Hood cottage cheese. Always good, always Hood.
Hanks Husqvarna is your full-line Husqvarna dealer with 2 convenient locations, 32 Old State Road in Carmel and 19 Moosehead Trail in Newport. Whether it's tractors and zero turns, chainsaws to trimmers, or pressure washers to battery power, Everything is set up, serviced, and ready to go by our certified Husqvarna technician. And all sales are backed by our in-house Husqvarna warranty. For parts, service, or sales, stop in to Hank's Husqvarna, Carmel or Newport.
Durable, sturdy, stylish. Not Joe. Joe's Furniture. Joe's Furniture Warehouse in Newport is the place to find solid wood, built to last, made in Maine dressers, bureaus, and nightstands. Not your average Joe. Joe's Furniture Warehouse, Grogan Avenue in Newport.
Jamie Foxx is back.
Season 7. Our contestants have won over $10 million.
An all-new season of Beat Shazam premieres May 28th on Fox.
Welcome back, folks. Our main weather tonight is brought to you by Big Pine Painting, the #1 family-owned and operated painting company serving Bangor and Belfast and surrounding areas. For all your paint, drywall, and pressure washing needs, call today for your free estimates. And finally, things were looking pretty good throughout the day today and still looking pretty good as we continue to see these decreasing clouds into the overnight hours. Finally, rain is gone. Rain is not gone down south, though. We're talking closer to Ohio, Pennsylvania, into Washington, D.C. Raleigh, you're getting in on some lighter showers, nothing heavy. And, of course, the western states, they're still getting a little bit of snow. You see this blue showing up here just north of Denver. That is a little bit of snow mixing in there as well. We're not going to get snow. That is for those western states, especially in those higher elevations. Now, we're going to see an abundant amount of sunshine tomorrow. A beautiful looking day. I would absolutely spend it outdoors because Wednesday we're going to get more chances of rain, some light to moderate rain showers that will be falling pretty much most of the day, especially into those afternoon to evening hours. Now, rainfall-wise, though, anywhere around 1/4 to maybe 2/10 of 1/4 inch of rain. This is through Wednesday, and then Friday into Saturday, a little bit more rain will be back in our forecast. Now, high temperatures today, though, not bad at all. Near average here in town. Even the coast saw some milder air, but not quite there. They were still in those mid to upper 50s. Take a look up north, though. Greenville, look at Millinocket, around 70 degrees, so mild air, above average temperatures for them. For us, though, it was closer to average. Now, just a little breeze right off the ocean, especially right at the coast, right? Anywhere from Portland all the way up north, Bar Harbor, Machias. If you just get a light breeze off the ocean with the ocean temperature still in the mid to upper 40s, you're going to be a lot cooler than even just 10 miles inland, where you are farther away from all those cooler water temperatures, and your air is going to be much, much warmer. I used to live in Staten Island, New York, and we used to have that all the time in the spring. Now, temperatures for tomorrow, look at this, near 70, above average, right? Closer to average Wednesday, bit cooler on Thursday, even cooler on Friday. It's going to be a cool, chilly day with more chances of rain. A little bit cooler, warming right back up by the weekend, but still staying below average. Now, for tonight, though, we're going to see temperatures in those mid-40s, a few spots into those upper 40s overnight. Mainly clear skies and a light breeze. For tomorrow, though, an abundant amount of sunshine, temperatures around 70 degrees, a little bit more of a breeze. We're going to see that northwest wind gusting up to 20 to 25 miles an hour, but still not too bad. Our extended forecast outlook does show chances of rain on Wednesday, especially in the afternoon. Lingering sprinkles, maybe a rain shower or two on Thursday. More chances of rain Friday into Saturday. Peter?
All right, so enjoy the sun tomorrow while we have it. Thank you, Conrad. And sports is coming up next. Stay with us.
Buying a home is a big family experience.
Oh, where else would you want to live?
Every story's different.
I grew up on another farm, and now I own my own.
I got introduced to a credit union when I was in college. Whether they got one customer that day to 1,000 customers that day, it feels like you are the one. The lender that you're talking to, you will see them after work at the T-ball game. It is our dream home. It's heaven, I guess.
Did you get mommy?
The local credit union can give you that peace of mind from start to finish, and that's what they did here.
Mesothelioma is more than a ravaging illness. It is a disease that can ruin a family's finances and is never the victim's fault. The law offices of Joe Bornstein has been fighting and winning for Maine families for nearly 50 years, and we've collected over $500 million for injured Mainers. If you or a loved one is a victim of mesothelioma or asbestos-related lung cancer, call Joe today for a free case evaluation and to learn about your family's legal rights. Dial 207-CALL-JOE or online at joebornstein.com.
The Lucerne Inn and Ryan's Pub is world-renowned for beautiful dining with a delicious view, featuring award-winning dishes from their executive chef, Arturo Montes. It's a true destination dining experience. Relax and unwind in an intimate space with your loved ones, family, and friends. We are pet-friendly, so your furry friends are always welcome to join you at your table on the deck, whether it's a special occasion or any occasion. The Lucerne Inn is the perfect choice for your business or family gathering.
Jumpstart the 2024 ATV season at the main ATV UTV Expo, May 17th through the 19th at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor. No other event features a gathering of so many trail riding enthusiasts, product manufacturers, dealers, and industry service providers. While there, check out Chin Pond Village, Northern Maine's premier outdoor recreational resort with hundreds of miles of ATV trails right from your doorstep. And Doors Equipment, see them at the Expo or at 1468 Hammond Street, Bangor for Kubota sales and service.
I want to know if I have a crush.
Love is a funny thing.
I'm both threatened and delighted by your brain.
Weekdays at 4 on Fox 22.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's start things out on the tennis court where the John Baptist boys team are once again looking to go deep into the Class B North playoffs. The Crusaders are 4-1 to start the year, their lone loss coming in a 3-2 decision against top team Caribou. This year they boast the deepest talent pool they've had in a long time, and the team says a good number of the team could be top varsity starters at other schools. That helps Baptist current starters further develop their talent and drive internal competition.
We call our varsity top 13, but the truth is only the top 7 are real varsity. So all those other 6 kids are just fighting to get back to that 6 or 7 spots. That's what prepares them for any match that they might face down the road.
Seeing kids who've never touched a raggy before, and they come out and they're hitting just as good as, some of our top 7. It's different from any other team that I've been on.
As usual, the competition in Class B North, crazy good. Caribou and Presque Isle at the top. Defending champs Foxcroft Academy were undefeated coming into today. MDI as well. The Crusaders know what they're up against and are remaining humble while still knowing that they can get back to the regional final after missing out last year.
Like any sport, you get a hot hand, a hot streak, and at the end you pull it off. We could end up going back to Northern Maine finals, or we could end up getting out in the quarterfinals because we meet one of those teams that happens to be getting hot at the right time.
It's so many good teams, that we're facing this year. We have no idea. We're very excited to have a chance at competing again on the top level. Only time will tell.
All right, now let's hit the track. The America East Track and Field Championships at UMBC over the weekend. Maine men's team finishing 5th. Women finishing 9th, and there were some real good individual finishers too. Let's take a look at those. 2 champions for the Black Bears. Luke Marsanskis first in the men's 10,000 meter run. Mackenzie Wilson first in the women's hammer throw with an America East record mark throw of 62.98 meters. Eamon Sweeney second in the men's 110 meter hurdles. Andrew Card second in the men's 400. Marsanskis again, he came in second in the 5,000 meter men's race as well. Second place Megan Randall in the women's 5,000 meter race. Erica Lawson third place in the women's triple jump, and John Prell third place in men's shot put. All right, now let's stay with the Black Bears and go to some Black Bears that will soon forever live in immortality. The school announcing Monday 8 inductees into the University of Maine Sports Hall of Fame. Let's start out with the team being inducted, and it is a big one. The 1998-99 national title winning Black Bear men's hockey team will be enshrined. The team going 31-6-4 en route to their second and most recent title, defeating UNH 3-2 off of Marcus Gustafson overtime goal. Captain Steve Correa leading the way with 27 goals, and current assistant goalie coach Alfie Michaud had a 2.32 goal allowed average. All right, now let's go to the individuals getting inducted. Marie-Andre Canwell for women's soccer, Errol Gordon for football, Allison Howat for track and field, Paul Kelly for men's soccer, Sigi Koizar for women's basketball, Kevin Reed men's basketball, and Larry Thomas for Major Leaguer baseball. All right. Now let's go to the lacrosse field. Some interclass action Monday night with Bangor hosting Mount Blue in girls action. Let's go there now. Rams looking to take their 3rd win in 4 games. Late first quarter, Cougars down 2. Nina Bogar shakes off Rhea Maybe and takes a shot from a few yards out, nails it. 4-3 Bangor after 1. Second quarter, tied at 4. Bangor's Ellie Cool to Emma Webster. Here comes a cutting Kirsten Daigle. Webster catches her, and she just drops it in. It's 5-4. Later, free position shot for Mount Blue. Bree Griffin elects to pass. She finds Alyssa Butterfield. Cradle shoots and scores. We are tied at 5. Finally, 6-6, under 30 ticks left in the half. Bangor's Adela Maybe shot is wide. The freshman Parker Mazzy scoops it up. And how about a backhand goal? 7-6 Bangor at the half. They go on to win 12-10. And now to some other scores from the area. Class B baseball, Ellsworth 2-1 over MDI. Class B boys tennis, Old Town, it should say 5-0 over Foxcroft Academy. Class C softball, Bucksport 1-0 over Orono. And in Class A girls tennis, Lewiston defeats Brewer 3-2. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Toyota has more hybrid all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive models than any other brand, like the RAV4 Hybrid with up to a 566-mile total driving range. See your New England Toyota dealer, your hybrid all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
And Doug.
Limu, someone needs to customize and save hundreds on car insurance with Liberty Mutual. Let's fly. Chief?
Doug.
Oh, wow. I thought you were right behind me.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
An official message from Medicare.
A new law is helping us save more money on prescription drugs. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, our drug premiums are zero, and our out-of-pocket costs are low.
I enrolled and I'm saving money. If you're single and make less than $23,000 a year, or are a married couple making less than $31,000, you may qualify and save, even if you don't think you qualify. It pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp.
When we say it'll be on time, they expect it to be on time.
Turn shipping to your advantage.
Keep those expectations with reliable ground shipping.
Thanks, Brandon.
With USPS Ground Advantage.
Protect your vehicle from rusting away with Bell's Automotive Protection. We are the leader in mobile undercoating and rust proofing in Maine. We'll travel right to your driveway using the best and safest products on the market. This is much safer than rubberized coatings that can cause damage later on. We spray all types of vehicles, including commercial fleets. We all know vehicles aren't cheap anymore. Don't let the harsh winter chemicals eat them away. Call us or visit our page for a free quote. 207-659-3805.
Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7. Tomorrow morning on Star 97.7, Paul Dupuis has the music and fun. Sonny Shepard brings you Star 97.7 local news. And Steve McKay with the weather. Turn on your radio and get the Star treatment with Star 97.7.
Is this the start of a dynasty? A redemption tour? A breakthrough? Or is this the makings of the wildest ride you'll ever witness? Any questions?
Welcome back. Summer is right around the corner and Americans are itching to start their travel plans. Fox's Kelly O'Grady has a look at the latest travel trends.
Looking for a cool getaway? Well, new data from luxury travel network Virtuoso showing the latest emerging travel trends, including more bookings to cooler climate countries this year to escape that sweltering heat.
We're seeing a lot of interest in Europe, as we always do, but this time we're seeing them go to Northern Europe. Don't get me wrong, people still love Western Europe, and they're still going to Paris for the Olympics, but we're seeing much more demand for places like Scandinavia, which is up 77% over last summer. We're seeing Sweden up 145% over last summer, Denmark, the Netherlands.
Virtuoso says demand going into the summer is strong, with rates on par with where they were last year.
Overall, everything else is more expensive. So you are seeing a lot of fluctuations in air. Airfares are quite high. Hotel rates are quite high. But then the cost on the ground is as well.
Despite higher costs, luxury travel is showing no signs of slowing down.
And that's the important piece, is that they may be willing to let go of luxury goods, other things, but they are not letting go of their luxury experiences.
According to Virtuoso, expectations that the cruise industry will become the strongest sector of the tourism industry are at 58%.
We're starting to see much more demand amongst millennials and even Gen Z. You're starting to see more solo female travelers cruising as well, which is an interesting dynamic. And then we're also seeing much more family cruising and multi-generational family cruising too.
And on the go, on the whim, American Express says about 80% of travelers are open to more spontaneous trips, with 44% saying they prefer to just pack up and hit the road, leaving the details for the last minute. In New York, Kelly O'Grady, Fox Business.
It's no secret beer lovers like to drink their favorite beverage cold. Well, it turns out, besides being more refreshing at low temperatures, cool conditions can actually have an impact on beer's flavor. In a study published in the scientific journal Matter, scientists from the Chinese Academy of Sciences found alcohol reacts to different temperatures in different ways. Low temperatures bring about molecular changes in the beverage that can enhance flavor. The taste of the beer fades when it's warm. The study suggests it's best to serve beer when it's between about 40 and 50 degrees. I agree. A new shop in Blue Hill is helping reduce fiber pollution by selling used or unwanted scraps of fabric and yarn to area crafters. 20-year-old Sofina Paz, who's an upcycler, opened Ebb and Flow Fiber Arts last September. And as our Jody Hersey tells us, her community is just as passionate about recycling as she is.
So many crochet hooks, knitting needles, oh my gosh.
Wednesday through Sunday, 20-year-old Sofina Paz can be found here at Ebb and Flow Fiber Arts in Blue Hill. Paz opened this resale shop using donated materials and supplies that crafters no longer need, and then making those items affordable for others who like to sew, knit, or crochet.
The response from the community has been, thank you so much. I didn't want to throw this away. I didn't want to get rid of it.
Paz says folks often leave bags of donations outside her front door.
Yeah, these are just nearly finished projects. That's a great donation.
Customers will find an assortment of items like yarn, thread, tools, and patterns inside her shop.
There's been a lot of mothers and their children, not just girls, a lot of boys who are interested in creating, and people my age who have that desire to learn these skills that in other generations we were always taught, like, stitching with your grandmother and how to sew and all of these things.
She also hosts and leads workshops at her business.
I have led two, personally, this rug braiding technique, which is pretty fun, and it's using old sheets. Maybe they're stained or torn or whatnot, and you can repurpose them and make them into a rug just by hand braiding. You don't even need to sew.
Paz says a similar business in Western Massachusetts and her grandmother, who is a fiber artist, are what inspired her to open her own company.
Fiber pollution is one of the biggest pollutants in our entire world. So the little bit that I can do for my small community, I think is helping a lot.
In Blue Hill, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Great to highlight a really cool business like that one in our area. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you have a great rest of your night. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.